Okay, friends, I think we'll go ahead and get started. Sorry for the delay. Um, it's so good to see all of you here as well. Go ahead and check in the chat box. Introduce yourself. If you're new, welcome. Um, if you're new, please say hello. Love to see who's in the space. Thank you for those of you who are returning. Thank you for coming back. It's always amazing to see people come back. It's always amazing to see people who just find this practice, on something, and then just kind of show up in the space, and then you keep coming back. This world is always really fun. Any check-ins? How's everyone doing before we begin? And also prayer lists, prayer requests. Please go ahead and if you have a prayer request, go ahead and do that before we really get started. I know it's easy to forget. See someone from East Harlem. I like that. So someone from Toronto.
Like Miss Sharon might have something to share.
Oh, okay. Yeah, come on.
Miss Sharon, I think you're muted if you'd like to share.
Oh, I can't hear you. You mute. I think you're so muted. I think someone has to.
My host had to give me permission to unmute. Hello, Sangha. I'm here in my role as the icebreaker for the community. I'm always willing to speak first. And the question was, how are you doing?
Yeah.
Everyone on here has an answer to that question. So I am just putting myself out there because it's not a sacrifice for me to say that I am very happy to be here. My energy has been all over the place the last couple of days. My practice has been all over the place, which is, practice. I like it when my practice feels good, but I do it regardless because I've learned from Lama Rod that it's not about how we feel. and so I just finished watching Lama Rod and Lama Justin's talk about the future of Bhumi Sparsha. And I feel like I owe the community an apology because as I was watching, I was going to run out of time. And so I kind of set an intention that I was going to be able to finish before we started Medicine Buddha. So I feel personally responsible for the delay in getting started tonight because it worked out perfectly. I finished and I was able to log right on. So sometimes you have to be careful with your magic, and that's my message for today. So I will bow out with that comment.
It is true. I completely agree. You have to be careful. People, there are people who are much more powerful than they realize or understand, yeah.
Yeah, that felt like a kind of a warning signal from the universe that, be careful with my, idle wishing.
Yes. Right. Right. And this is why, this is, I think, why we come, well, this is why I'm so really into getting clear about what it is that I'm doing in life, right? What my ethics are, what my goal is, so everything just starts slowly getting aligned, no matter how much I like randomly think things or wish things, and how all that just starts to get, kind of focused more and more as I get older, as the practice deepens, you know. Yeah. Yeah, just, people are reflecting also in the chat box as well. So we're gonna get started soon. Okay. We'll be having again just a follow-up meeting next week for just this kind of new phase Bhumi Spasha is moving into. So I know that can create anxiety, but this is, as we've talked about many, many, many times before, this is a period of things breaking away, falling apart, restarting, so you can't grow sometimes until you kind of crack open and allow new things to start growing. So that's where we're at with that. So, but no worries. I don't really worry so much these days. I just practice. I practice and I open and I trust Buddhas like Medicine Buddha to catch me, to hold me. That's just faith, actually. We've talked a lot about faith. I think we talked about faith last week. There's been so much happening here, and in America. I know not all you are here in this country, I saw a very funny meme today that America is becoming the Florida of the world, which I really shouldn't be laughing. Is nothing to laugh about. Yeah, there we go. This is where we're at. It's like these huge regressions, But at the same time, it's like, this has to happen. Like stuff like this has to happen. It always gets darker before it gets lighter. The storm is right now, and joy cometh in the morning. All these cliche things that we hear about. But yeah, I just, there's so much waiting for us on the other side of this, and there's so much that we have to let go of. That's part of liberation work. At some point you have to like get real clear about what has to be offered up, right, to get to freedom, to get to liberation, right? You just can't carry everything. And a lot of the things that we will not be carrying are, certain relationships. So, and you mourn it, right? It's there's a brokenheartedness here. You connect to the grief of it, right? And you take care of it, None of this is easy. It's not supposed to be fun. It's not glamorous. It's none of that. It's just the labor that we do, right, to take care of our hearts, right? This isn't, this isn't a hell realm, Take that personally from me. I've been to hell realms before. I have journeyed through hell realms, and this is not a hell realm, but it is samsara, and it gets real close. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's like I know what I want to say, but I just can't find the words to articulate it. But I guess it's just this. It's easy to be consumed by the fear and anxiety of what you just see in front of you and what you experience. And it's a different experience when you see much more of the picture, that this is just a moment that's happening for us. It's just a moment. Everything is just a moment. There's one moment after the other, and this is the moment that we're moving through, and it passes. And what helps it pass, obviously, is just deep practice, compassion, love, deep trust and faith, right? And it passes, right? And for me, it's not. I just, also, I have this intense capacity for work as well, So it's like I don't let things. I don't like to lose, And so I have, and I mean, I've lost a lot, but I'm not talking about competing and all this other stuff that we get involved with. What I'm talking about is practice. I'm talking about suffering. Like, that's not what I do anymore. I don't get consumed by the suffering anymore. The suffering is just an expression of my mind. This moment that we're moving through is this dream, right? But the dream also, it feels very real. And there are other beings who are being consumed by the dream. And I can't help beings if I just allow myself to be consumed by all of this, right? Some of us have to become the people who are consuming the chaos, because that reminds the rest of us that this is possible to consume everything, right? To meet the intensity of the times with practice, with intense care, with fearlessness, right? With a kind of warriorship, right? Which is what my next book is about, is the warriorship from going from brokenheartedness to warriorship, the fierceness. Right? And it's easy to get to experience a lot of fear. It's easy to get swept up in the anxiety and everything, the doubt. But when you're really deeply connecting to practices like this, like Medicine Buddha that we're about to get into, when you just surrender, you lay all this fear, anxiety, and worry, you lay it at the feet of the Buddha. You lay it at the feet of the mother, and in that offering, that giving away, there's this profound space that opens, and it's the space that begins to work for us, because the space is actually where all the Buddhas reside, is the space. You can't get the help you need if you're contracted, if you're shutting down. There's no way the light gets in, there's no way the blessings get in. But when we open and expand and let go of everything that we're struggling with, and we just offer it into space itself, which is, again, the same thing as offering to the Buddhas, right? Then that opening becomes a doorway, it becomes a portal, right, for change to start to happen, for evolution, for something different. You meet the contraction of this time with intense spaciousness, right? The people creating the most violence and harm for us are the people who are most contracted, most shut down, most rigid, right? Rigidity doesn't win. Space wins, right? Align yourself with space, and then you align yourself with one of the most powerful experiences in the universe, along with love. Love arises from space, not from rigidity. And I know everyone, so many people are really scared and people are really experiencing, a lot of harm right now. And people are pissed off, right? Um, but as my activist elders used to say, who gives a shit if you're pissed off? Are you organized? Right? What does your feelings have to do with getting free? Right. That's why, that's how I came up. Like that was when things got hard, it's like, well, you can organize. Where's your organization at? Like how are we getting organized? And of course, practice is part of that. Like this is for me a big part of organizing. Is like I'm connecting to the help of the unseen world. I'm connecting to the help of enlightened beings who are waiting for us to open up as channels. There's a lot of light trying to get into this world. There's not a lot of portals and channels. There's way more light than channels to get that light into the world. And so when we practice, we become channels for Buddhas like Medicine Buddha and Tara and so forth to begin to touch into this world, right? And there are a lot of portals of darkness open as well. And so much of our work is opening more portals of light. So this energy, this light, this space, these blessings can actually become a part of this world to touch, so I can actually touch into this world, this land. And, there are so many really special beings being born physically into the world, who are consciously reincarnating to be physically in this world, to continue to work for this liberated future, this beloved community that is coming about, in the future. When in the future, I don't know, but it is coming, right? And to choose the joy as you do this work, that's of course is one of the hardest things to do. Like you look at the world, Paris is literally burning. And I'm not talking about the documentary that we all know and love. Paris is like burning, right? And it's like, okay, that's where we're at now. Right? And then what comes after the flames? What comes after the burning? Something new has to come, right? Regrowth, movement, awakening, right? I just, just to say this, and we're gonna get started. Like, I'm just not in the space of like limitation anymore. Like, I don't see the world as being limited. I see the world, this reality is full of potential. And we have to start aligning ourselves with potential instead of getting so distracted by the limitations. And the rigidity is so distracting. It's just so noisy. Like, you have to let go of that. And then fall back into the space and let the space hold that. Let the space hold the chatter and the drama, this is how we get organized. We get clear. We get focused, right? We divest from the silliness. We divest from, just like the self-identification with trauma, we start divesting from all of that, and we start choosing space. We start choosing the joy. We start choosing care and love. We start choosing what is conducive to freedom. And then you do the mourning, because to choose the space and joy means that there is something that's being let go of. Something has to be let go of course, right? So that's what we choose in our practice. When we do Medicine Buddha, this is what we're choosing. We're choosing joy, we're choosing growth, we're choosing potential, We're choosing a different way of being. We're choosing evolution, right? Um, and we're choosing not to allow fucking legislation to define who I am and what I have a right to do or not to do. First of all, it's like, you know, fuck a law. Like that has nothing to do with my freedom. A fucking law had nothing to do with my ancestors getting free. You know, right? You have to choose that. Like you can't sit around and wait for someone to vote for you to be free. You take your fucking freedom. You know. This is why I love Harriet Tubman so much. You know, like it was like I deserve to be free and I'm gonna take my freedom. Like there wasn't a conversation she had with anyone. Like she didn't tell anyone. She was like, I'm gone, I'll see you later. Right. You know. And it can be as simple as that. You have to make it really simple. It's like I deserve to be free and I'm going to take my freedom and I'm going to live liberated. I'm no longer going to allow the state to define who I am and what I'm limited to. I have agency over my body, over, over like choosing what it means for me to be fluid and open. And also, I'm open to understanding, the ways in which maybe some of my choices to be free does actually create harm for others, right? But I'm not interested in the conversation around discomfort. Like when you choose freedom, you're always going to make someone uncomfortable, right? But that's not going to make them unsafe. When I'm unsafe, I have, when someone's really unsafe, then their access to resources are restricted. There's harm being imposed. Stop letting people convince you that their discomfort is somehow you harming them. Yeah. And this is, just ancestors talking here at this point. Yeah, it's yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's just for me, it's just not a big deal. It's um like I know what the work is and I do it. Right. And I get clear about it. Of course this is all I'm talking about in the book in the New Saint. So, actually almost word for word, but get clear about the work and you do it and you keep doing it. And that's really the best that I can really hope for. Like, I mean, just to find your work and to do it is incredible. There's so many people who don't know what their work is. This is my work and I'm doing it. I'm continuing to show up to do the work and I'm finding joy and space in the work. And there's also brokenheartedness, but the brokenheartedness doesn't become the totality of my experience. It's just an experience arising within the boundless experience of mind. And mind itself is empty, spacious, right? Super energized. As simple as that. And you move out into the world and you make decisions and you're like, okay, how am I going to help today? Who needs to be helped? How can I help? Right? What needs to be disrupted or what needs to be abolished? And it's not personal. This is not a personal thing. It's not about me liking you or disliking you. It's really just about my deep belief that we all deserve to be free. Free from domination, free from manipulation, free to make choices that really directly relate to our own deep well-being, happiness, and joy, and maybe connected to the communities that we're a part of as well. That's it. That's all I'm really interested in. And for people who get in the way of that, yeah, of course, there's a deep, deep compassion. Like, yeah, I get it. It's suffering. You don't know how to be in the world and be free. And so you choose domination, you choose policing, you choose surveillance over me. And that's wonderful. But that's, I don't consent to identifying with your violence. No matter what you do, I will never believe what you tell me I am. This doesn't have to be an angry statement. I don't have to raise hell about it. It's just a statement. I know who I am. The problem is you don't know who you are, and this is why you're trying to enact this violence. And I will make a choice. I will respond to your violence in a way that seems appropriate through prayers, magic, practice, physical restraint if need be, counter violence if that's called for. Just get clear. Just get clear. It's like, this is the choice that needs to be made, and this is what I'm doing. Right? Made from a deep place of love. You want everyone to be free. Right? You won't ever be free for trying to dominate me. Right? Like you're the least free of anyone if you're so invested in controlling and dominating others. You're much more concerned with people suffering than concerned with your own happiness. That's really based in like you really, really just being free and just not worrying, having anxieties about stuff. It's like, all this energy you invest in policing me is energy that you take away from understanding who you are. And you won't get free until you figure out who you are. Just get clear. Right. Let the light, we always practice with lights. I think that's one big element that I love. Letting lights, awaken, let it bloom. Yeah. And then just like leaning into the light. That light is clarity. That light is the energy of the mind, right? Itself. That light is the nature, right, of all phenomena, is the essence of everything. To sit in the light, right? To let the light take care of you. And to take care of others around you, and to take care of the world. We don't have to do as much work as we think we have to, because there are just countless beings, that are also working. But if we just lean into the light, it makes it easier for them to do the work in the world, because we're not getting in the way by self-identifying with these lower vibrational energies like trauma and depression and sadness and hopelessness. These are lower energies that keep us really heavy, and really tied into the material, into materiality, right? Into the heaviness, physicality of the world. And what we're trying to do is lift. We're trying to get lighter. We're lifting the vibration, right? Because if we lift the vibration, that becomes a channel that begins to, again, connect to these other higher energies that can move into the world, right? To start lifting other beings as well. When we lift, others around us begin to lift, right? When I shine, everyone shines, right? That's what the sun does. The sun is shining, it just illuminates. But what would we be if there was no sun, right? Like it would be perpetual darkness. So when I choose to embrace the light, to embody the light, I begin to illuminate others around me, and they begin to believe in lights as well. This is why we choose joy. Joy is an expression of light. This is why joy is so critical in liberation struggles, right? And for those of you who are just like, joy isn't a part of the liberation struggle, then you don't come from backgrounds of liberatory struggle then. Like, quite frankly, I come from Black people who have struggled for centuries, and our primary weapon has been joy and talking a lot of shit as well, which makes the things that happen in the world, bearable when we get on social media and start choosing joy when sometimes it's not appropriate. But anyhow, right? Joy is the space. There's no change, no movement, no growth without space, right? It's like I can't be a part of any liberation struggle. There's no laughter, there's no joy, even in the face of death. If need be, I will face death laughing. And what are you really holding on to at the end of the day? That's always the question, right? In Buddhism, there's always that central question: what am I really, really, really fixated on that's actually preventing me from choosing joy? And that's, often our fear of death, right? Which is just a misunderstanding. Death is just completely misunderstood, right? Like I hold on to my body, and I think my body is who I am, but my body is just an expression, one expression of who I am, but it's not the total expression of who I am. I am not my body. My body is just an experience. When it's time to transition, to journey on, I know how to let go of this body in the same way we train to let go of thoughts and emotions in our meditation practice. It has to be as simple as that, right? To let go of a thought has to be, to let go of the body, right, at the moment of death has to be as simple as we train to let go of a thought in our meditation. Just as simple and clear as that. Even our bodies at the moment of death must be offered, must be laid at the feet of the Buddha, right? Or the guru, or the mother, or of God, whatever makes sense for you is all the same. Everything is everything. Right? So you have to get it simple. I'm always talking about this. Make it simple, make it easy. But of course, that takes a long time to get to. I completely understand that, right? We're already enlightened, which makes all this labor to remember like a cosmic joke that I'm sure you'll get when you get back around. And you're like, oh, this is all I was doing. All these countless lifetimes, I was just trying to like shift my attention to this one thing, this one aspect of my being. That was all I was trying to do. I went through all of that. You'll laugh about it. You'll laugh. You'll be like, oh, ha ha ha. It's not a joke anyone played on us. It's just a misunderstanding that kind of got out of control. In any case, let's move into our practice. Of course, I want to work with light again. This is it's a full moon, big full moon, Guru Panam. And since I'm just thinking about it, like, what about that new Kali node, right? Speaking of joy. Yes, Padam, right? but Kali Minogue has nothing to do with this practice. I just want to put that out there. I'm just really trying to bring a sense of lightness into what can be very overwhelming and heavy material. So once you hear it, you can't unhear it. And I'm grateful for that. I don't know. Like it's been really doing some work for me, this past month. So I'm not complaining. I love good music. Once again, we're gonna be practicing. So everyone, we're gonna practice. But this is what happens when the joy starts. It's like, ooh. Who wants to practice? Let's just be happy together. But no. So as always, let's begin with our intention, right? Generating this intention, and this intention, of course, is an expression of bodhicitta, which is just this attitude, right? That I am practicing to experience freedom for myself and for all beings. This is my primary goal in my practice, is to get freer and to help others get free. If you start with that intention, then that begins to shape your practice, right? If there's no intention, the practice just kind of all over the place. I'm doing this to get free. I'm doing this to get others free. When you're ready, shifting your attention down to the seats. We're acknowledging really our bodies, but we're acknowledging first the weight of our bodies and the seat rising to hold us. And then allowing our bodies to be here, to be in this moment with us. We don't have to tune into sensations right now, but just say, yeah, there's a body, and then maybe shifting your attention, back to the seats, right? If that feels appropriate for you. And even connecting even deeper into the earth, right? Just acknowledging the earth, which I call the mother. When I acknowledge the earth like this, I touch the earth. And as we touch the earth, we touch all beings connected to the earth. And now turning our attention to the space around us. And I invite you again, as we've done in the past, I invite you to imagine that all of your benefactors begin to appear around you. So you can move your 7 homecomings practice. And if you're new, just imagine that all the beings who love you, who want you to be free and safe and resourced, just imagine that all these beings begin to appear around you. And you don't have to see them clearly, but really having the feeling or the belief that as we open, these beings emerge. We're just feeling their presence around you. They're like stars, in the galaxy. And they begin to radiate with care for us. So they begin to radiate the soft white light. And again, that light is their care, their deep care, what I call awakened care for us. And they begin to illuminate all the space around us. And as the space is illuminated, we begin to imagine that the physical space around us begins to dissolve in this white light of awakened care. And we just find ourselves suspended within this bubble of light radiating from our benefactors. And slowly, we begin to imagine that this light, which is care for us from our benefactors, begins to be directed towards us even more directly. So we begin to be absorbed or are wrapped up and held by this radiance of care from our benefactors around us. We begin to absorb that energy into our bodies. So take this really slowly, that this light begins to slowly saturate our bodies, like being absorbed into our skin and nails, right, into our muscles, into our bones, into other tissue, into organs, into our lungs and heart and liver. And this light is really subtle, it's soft, but it begins to slowly lift us, right? There's a subtle, for, it can be subtle, it can be even more intense, but we begin to feel this energetic lifting that may feel like more space, more fluidity. You may begin to feel a little like kind of lightheaded, which is okay, right? And if you are practicing with your eyes closed, even beginning to imagine that even with your eyes closed, like you begin to sense this light really awakening. And at this point, we'll offer our first mantra. Umla Sange Kino Soha Medicine Buddha, please think of me. This is the mantra that begins to really call in and awaken the consciousness of Medicine Buddha for our practice. So we'll begin by chanting and then chanting the mantra 3 times, and then ending with just chanting as well. Okay? So we'll begin. Om. Om La Sange Kino Soha. Om La Sange Kino Soha. Om La Sange Kino Soha. And then one more time. So returning your attention to this light, which is high vibrational energy within the body. You begin to imagine that some of this light begins to be concentrated into the heart center. And as this energy is concentrated into the heart center, we imagine that the moon, or an image or an expression of the moon, begins to form just right in the heart center. And then slowly the moon begins to transform into an image or expression of Medicine Buddha. And so you can imagine that this image, this classic image of Medicine Buddha, begins to actually form in your heart center, or just having a sense that the consciousness of Medicine Buddha is actually awakening in your heart is also fine. And this expression of Medicine Buddha begins to radiate this clear white light throughout the body. And this radiance, this expression of light from Medicine Buddha, begins to dissolve and clear away all this energy of anxiety, fear, and doubt that actually has been collecting in our physical bodies, in our energetic bodies as well. That this radiance of Medicine Buddha's light just begins to clear and dissolve all of this lower vibrational energy that keeps us from expanding and leaning into space. And as we transition into our main mantra, Te Atao Om Bekente Maha Bekente Rasa Sumungate Soha. Like this, I pray for the end of pain and suffering and the root of pain and suffering. And I release the energy of this prayer out to all the worlds so that we all may be liberated. And we can imagine as we begin to chant this, that this is a prayer specifically for our bodies, for ourselves, that the pain that I experience, the suffering that I experience is liberated. And that this energy is being released. And not really thinking about the rest of the world and all beings, but just really just praying as we chant, just praying that all of this energy, this lower vibrational energy of fear, sadness, or hopelessness, that the light of Medicine Buddha, along with the radiance of care from our benefactors, begins to loosen and dissolve this energy so that I can begin to expand and open and connect to spaciousness, joy, and potential. And just wave after wave of energy is just clearing all of this out of my body, clearing it out of all of my bodies, all the different bodies that I manifest. All this fear, doubt is cleansed. We begin with the mantra now. O Te Atao Bekente Ma Bekente Rasa Sumungate Soa. 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 Te Atao Bekente Ma Bekente 소아 대아다운 대근제 대근제 마대근제 라스 수문가테 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 소아 대아다운 대근제 Just shifting attention to our prayer requests. As we begin, as always, calling into our space, into our practice, all of the beings who can hold these prayer requests, work on our behalf to bring these prayer requests, the fruition of these prayers about. Including all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, the Yidams, the Dharma protectors, angels, all the beings of light, our ancestors, all benevolent ancestors. Calling all those beings into the space. And we offer these prayers to these beings of light, to these beings of liberation, and we pray that you bring about the fruition of everything that we're praying for. We begin by offering prayers for each of us as we travel through darkness to light. We've been here before. Offering prayers for continued awakening, clarity, and bravery as we travel inward towards our truth. Praying that all beings be healed in all times and all dimensions. Offering prayers for my sons living with MS and cystic fibrosis as I move away from them and let them figure out how to manage without so much mothering. May they be safe and imbued with loving care. Prayers that we are able to find a home that meets all of our needs for our international move. Praying for Matt and the healing of his foot. May he be released from pain. Offering prayers for my continued healing of health issues and trauma. Offering prayers for guidance, self-compassion, clarity, and strength as I weigh the difficult decision around whether or not to continue my primary emotional partnership. May I be supported and resourced around how to be gentle with myself and them while we navigate whatever challenges and changes arise. Offering prayers for Trisha to be healed as she continues to work with complications from chemo. Offering prayers of gratitude for the Sangha and all of our benefactors and homecoming circles. Offering prayers of gratitude for the land and all the caretakers of the land, past, present, and future. Offering prayers for protection and care for all my beloveds, seen and unseen, that they have all they need and they feel deeply loved. Prayers that I find my people. I am needing to grow my beloved community. Offering prayers for my daughter, that she find her lifelong people who she can care for and who can care for her. Offering prayers that my work is reinforced by the unseen, that I know what my work is. Offering prayers for good biopsy results and relief from persistent anxiety and physical symptoms. Offering prayers for Kathy, beloved Dharma teacher and friend who died in late June. Offering prayers for my father that he may recover fully from his surgery and regain strength and ability to do the things he enjoys. Offering prayers for my equanimity friends that we find the support and resources we need to survive and thrive. Offering prayers for all beings living with chronic pain and illness, especially those of the global majority and the LGBTQ plus community, that we may know wholeness. Offering prayers for Susan and her continued healing from long COVID symptoms. May she have new insights into how to completely heal. Offering prayers for Alex and Laura, and may they have continued awareness and healing in their addiction to alcohol. Offering prayers that I do not catch COVID for my doctor's appointment. Offering prayers that the waves of turmoil that are here serve for my and others' awakening. And offering prayers for all beings in all realms and all lifetimes, prayers for Lama Rod and everyone associated with Bhumi Sparsha, and all who are practicing liberation Dharma and the beings of light in all realms. May Nina and Rishi be healthy, well, safe, protected, and free. May all beings benefit from the blessings of my life. May I charge through my blocks, remembering what I am and that I choose to be here in this physical world at this time to help. May I let go of what and whom need to go. May I grieve. May I choose ease. May I get shit towards liberation done swiftly and efficiently so I can survive here. And may I remember to do it twerking with joy. Asheo. Prayers for connection with my ancestral guides, that they may guide my actions in a beneficial way. Prayers for us to all feel connected to the earth so that we may respect and take care of our incredible planet. Prayers for my children, that they may feel safe and connected. Prayers for Becky, that she may find success in her applications to graduate school. Offering prayers for all the people, animals, and the earth affected by the fires in so-called Canada. Prayers for the Raven family who lost a member of their family. Offering prayers for those of us feeling lost and suffering and fear. Offering prayers of comfort and care for those friends in cancer treatment. Offering prayers of comfort and care for those who have lost spouses and parents recently. Offering prayers that I do not miss opportunities to grow light and feel care. Offering prayers for deep heartbreak, relationships lost, and paths diverged. Offering prayers for the health and well-being of Lama Rod in all ways. May he continue to lead us and show us the way. And more prayers for Lama Rod and also Lama Justin and the Mission Circle and Eric and everyone working with this in transitional phase of Bhumi Sparsha. Offering prayers for myself as I navigate my self-doubt and anxiety. Offering prayers that I feel the love, support, and assistance of all the beings and spaces that surround me. Offering prayers for me that I may touch into the healing power of silence. Prayers for all beings incarcerated by systems of violence, that they may soon be free. Prayers for my benefactors to help and guide me in this next chapter of my life and help open the right door. Offering prayers and permission to my ancestors to lead me to the light, to the right people who hold their history and the history of their trade routes on the content of the Americas, to tell me the stories of kinship between pre-colonial communities. Offering prayers for my continued recovery from my mom's death 3 years ago today, with all the love and self-forgiveness I need, and for her that she is at peace wherever she is, and for my healing, for my broken relationship with my brother without our mother now hold us together. May we all heal from our estrangements. Prayers to my benefactors to help me sell my truck, as it will help open other doors. Offering prayers for all beings trapped in war, conflict, ecological destruction, poverty, and other human-made causes of suffering. May we know peace, space, and love. Prayers that I may recognize the medicine available to me and find more spaciousness so that my actions in the world are more effective. Offering prayers of deep gratitude and appreciation for the Bhumi Sparsha community. Offering prayers for the health, offering prayers for the healing of my mental chaos into balance and peace. Prayers for the next door to open and be a healing one. Prayers for all suffering to find the way. Offering prayers for Mahan Siller, who recently had a heart attack. For Katie, having troubling difficulties with her daughter, wanting to find a way to help her and the family. For Hava Bailey, recovering from lung cancer surgery. For guidance with a writing project that I hope will make a contribution to the beloved community. For healing from fatigue of all sorts. For Shaya and Labordo, his wife Bahira, mourning his loss. Prayers for Cheryl Zeeb, recovering from a head injury in a recent auto accident. Offering prayers for my benefactors, my beloved Rebi, Rabbi Zalman, Schechter Shalami, on the anniversary of his death, which is today. May his light continue to shine through all the universes. Prayers for all disabled beings, that we may celebrate disability pride in a growing societal atmosphere of acceptance, inclusion, and support. Offering prayers for Andrea and her family, may they find their home and grow roots, and may we be guided into how to help them. Prayers of guidance as I look for a new job, that I may choose the path that allows me to be of the most benefit to all beings. Offering prayers that I may find enough relaxation to get some needed sleep tonight and this coming week. Prayers for the presences who visited yesterday to continue to feel heard and held in the space of liberation and emptiness, that I receive their messages with honoring, love, and intention toward compassionate action. Offering prayers for Brian that he may release old patterns of low energy and rigidity and relax into the vast space of trust, non-fear, flexibility, and magic. Prayers for Tom and Stefania. May Tom find rest and rejuvenation in the wake of intense caretaking. May Stefania continue to heal and regain her strength after a sudden, intense health crisis. Prayers for Carla and Francesca as they work to heal their ancestral line and find joy in each day. Offering prayers that we all may breathe clean air. And prayers for me as I am often on the edge of wanting to die, that I have peace, understanding, strength, courage, humor, joy, and wisdom. And I offer prayers for all of those in this session tonight, that all the resources that you need to experience the deepest well-being, happiness, and joy come to you, that you embody those resources, that you're able to return the fruition of those resources back into the lives and the experiences of those who rely on us and the communities that we're part of. We continue to pray for the complete abolition of all systems of violence that restrict freedom and harmony and peace and community, and just a deep sense of safety and contentment, that everything that gets in the way of that is completely abolished, that all beings may experience freedom as quickly as possible. And we offer all of these prayers, these aspirations to our benefactors, to all those who have gathered to hold these prayers, and we pray to you that you work with us and on our behalf to bring about the fruition of all of these needed prayers. As we turn our attention shortly back into our mantra practice, just releasing. And in this space of mantra, just imagining that we're releasing, like everything that we're holding on to. Everything that we no longer need, we release out into the field of our benefactors, into the space of the Buddhas, to alleviate the heaviness that many of us feel as we continue moving through this moment. All right. O te atam bekenze, bekenze ma bekenze raza sumungate soa. Te ata begenze, 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 raza sumungate soa. Returning our attention to the medicine Buddha arising from our heart centers. Imagine that in this last moment of radiance from this medicine Buddha, that this light completely dissolves and releases all the remaining fear, worry, and anxiety that we've been struggling with. And the radiance of medicine Buddha becomes so strong that this light begins to radiate from our body into the space around us, returning this light back to our benefactors, and in doing so, thanking them for their kindness, their care for us. And all the space around us begins to be filled with even more intense light, and everything, including our benefactors, begins to dissolve again into this white light. And all of that light around us is absorbed right into our heart centers with Medicine Buddha. And then slowly our bodies begin to dissolve into light, which is absorbed into the heart center of this Medicine Buddha that was once in our heart centers. And for a moment, our mind and awareness mingles with the consciousness of Medicine Buddha. And slowly, Medicine Buddha begins to dissolve into emptiness, releasing our awareness to expand out into boundless emptiness, holding everything that arises without reacting or holding on to. And when you're ready, beginning to allow the body to reform, connecting to the weight of your body as it comes back into this timeline. Feeling the seat rise to hold you, feeling the weight of your body, acknowledging that your body is present, and even beginning to offer simple movement to the body to reawaken the body, and even adding a few cleansing breaths to release any energy that feels stuck or heavy. And we turn our attention to Shantideva's prayer, which will be in the chat box, and which we'll recite 3 times. We begin. May I be a protector to those without protection, a leader for those who journey, a boat, a bridge, a passage for all those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, may I always support the life of all the boundless creatures, and until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach unto the ends of space. May I be a protector to those without protection, a leader for those who journey, and a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, may I always support the life of all the boundless creatures. And until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach into the ends of space. And finally, may I be a protector to those without protection, a leader for those who journey, and a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, may I always support the life of all the boundless creatures. And until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach into the ends of space. Okay. All right, thank you all. Thank you all so much. It's been wonderful. Just a reminder, Free Radicals is this Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. UK time as well. So please join us for that. And it looks like I'll see some of you in Madison on Sunday with Lama Justin and I. So I look forward to seeing some of you there. And also our meeting next week for Rumi Sparsha as well. So thank you all so much for your practice, and I think that is it for me. So thank you all so much. I won't be here the next 2 Mondays as well, so you'll have practice leaders the next 2 weeks. But I'll see you at the end of the month. Okay? All right. Thank you all. Please be well.